And you're
We're
live.
Oh, sick.
Jake had just said a tasteful
A
word.
spicy word.
Yeah.
Did that get into the broadcast?
Who knows?
Okay, then as
We don't
far as
know.
my mom knows, I've never sworn in my life.
Is your mom a patron?
No, but if she is one day.
No,
She's going to go
Jake
back
won't
through
let her.
every episode,
Yeah.
like listening.
Same way Dan won't let Claire, Jake won't let.
That's fair.
I'll let
Mrs.
anybody
Kuznicki.
pay. I'll let anybody pay to give
What's
us
your mom's first name?
Tina.
Christina.
Tina, really?
Christine, not Christina.
I didn't know that. That's why I asked what
Yeah.
her name was.
Yeah, I told you that's fine. You
Yeah.
don't need to know.
Cool.
What's your grandpa's name?
Which one?
Frankfurt.
My dad's dad was
Pick one.
Hank,
Okay.
and my mom's dad was Tom, and he was not a good guy.
Those are some
Ah.
solid grandpa names.
Hank and Tom.
Hank.
Honestly, I
What
don't
were your
hate the name
grandpa's
Hank.
names.
How's Grandpa
John
Byron?
and Jerry.
Those are good too.
They're very John and Jerry is so close to being Tom and Jerry that,
Yeah,
you
it's true.
know.
Also, my
If your grandpa hung out with his, then it'd
Oh
be,
yeah,
you know,
Tom and Jerry. And
they get up to some mischief.
and honestly, I think I could say this. Jerry's never going to see this, and no one in my family's ever going to be a patron. Jerry was also not a great guy for most of his life. You know, like I mean, very successful, wildly successful.
My
Sounds like a
grandpa's
boomer.
names were Robert and Leo.
Leo, that's a
That's
Not-
a good one.
yeah.
I like Leo
Mhm.
as a name a ton.
I do too.
my step grandpa, he's the only one that's alive. His name is Chuck, which I feel like is also an old man.
It's a
name.
great old
a good
man
old
name.
Like, very good
Yeah.
old man name.
I got Gary and I got Ed.
Also, very old white men.
Yep.
Especially
Yeah.
Ed.
Very,
Yep.
very.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I only know one young Ed.
I don't know any young Eds.
I like I like Leo, and I really like Theo.
The Ed I'm thinking about is actually a tot.
Really?
Really?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who?
His name's Ed. He goes to the Mobile campus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
he said
Ed, if you were a patron, we would be talking about you right now.
We are
He's
talking
been
about you still, even though
loving-
you're not.
he's been loving the fast episodes.
Oh, well,
So I'm gonna give him a shout out when we start the real episode.
that sounds good.
Not
I
this
like that.
fake episode that our patrons get.
This
The people that are
episode.
paying.
this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the episode. I don't like the way
I don't like the way that
sounds.
sounds either. I'm going to go ahead and repress that right now.
Scott, can you please just drag one line above the other to reorganize the episode list?
No,
Don't
I'm gonna
do
do it later because
It'll ruin
I don't want
things.
to potentially,
Oh.
and I don't feel like going through it all right now.
Okay. Well, before we jump into this next one, I do want to circle back and suggest, and in front of full view of the tots, since I did the last one on an app. What do you guys think about dropping Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 on the same day?
I actually don't like it. I thought about it when you said it.
I
Oh,
thought about
really?
it too.
Yeah.
I would rather extend it.
Okay, I'm fine with it. I'll back off.
If
I
we
think-
do it, I wouldn't be mad, but
Yeah,
my vote would
no,
be the other way.
I think we can do it. I would just think I think both episodes will get less listenership.
That's fair. Yeah, and maybe you're right. Like I'll back off on the idea. I just thought like if I'm going to listen to 2 episodes in a row, I would actually rather listen to 2 episodes in a row. Like I'd rather binge that
I
than
think-
like wait.
Uh.
I might not come back, to be honest. That's just my 2 cents.
I
But
don't know.
I mean,
I'm
they've been doing it with Fast all year.
I'm
fair enough. Fair enough, brother.
I'm ambivalent.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with either.
I'm good with
I'm
backing
good
off
with
the
either. I
suggestion.
just like
I
my
would say-
leaning would be towards not, but if it happens, I'm like,
If,
okay.
if we can schedule a time that would work before we would need to, so in 3 weeks instead of 4, I really don't care. We could do it. As a
Are we
test
4
run.
weeks out? Because weren't we talking about recording one on?
No, Disaster Artist releases tomorrow morning. So we
Then-
have
Then
would
we only have
had
3
2 weeks.
We have
Oh,
3 movies
I
left to do,
understand.
right?
We have 3
after-
movies left
yeah,
to do. So we would
yeah.
have 3 weeks to schedule the next recording.
Got it. I
Got
understand.
it. Okay.
instead
All
of-
right. Yeah. No, it's fine.
I need to buy that thing tomorrow.
I'll totally
Oh yeah.
walk back my statement.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
All right, Patreon. We love you guys. Thanks for subscribing.
So I have to ask you because I know family is so important to you. Is that really a choice you want to make? Because I'm ready if you are.
If I pull this trigger, and God knows I wanna, if I killed everyone on this plane, I still couldn't get in there. Because you're a two-man failsafe system. Since I'm alone, I got no choice.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rotten Potatoes, a podcast where four friends sit down and review movies that you absolutely should have seen already, but at least one of us hasn't. My name is Scott, and I'm here with three of the best men in the whole wide world.
Wow. My name is Jake.
My name is Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And today we are reviewing the 8th installment of the greatest saga that has ever existed.
The penultimate episode of Scott's season 4.
I think this is going to be the ep that gets me back into first place.
Pre-writing, mark it down 1,000.
just 4 10s.
If I get 4 10s, I think I'm still like a full 10 points behind you guys.
1,000.
Oh man.
So yeah, we're talking Fast 8 today, F8, F8.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of
Or
the
Fate,
Furious.
or we could call it.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they didn't go the F8 of the Furious.
But then they
100
did it with
Because
F9.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm like
Yeah,
this was
they've
set up.
already done numbers for words. Do it again.
They've never done anything that actually made logical sense. So
The-
why would
the-
they now?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. They just can't.
I wish they did.
I don't. Honestly, at this point, I'm glad that they're not making sense still. Like, if they started making sense,
Consistently
I would wonder what was going on.
inconsistent.
Do we know for sure is the next one going to be Fast XI or is it going to be Fast X Part 2?
Here's the thing, it's going to be
They-
something that doesn't make any sense.
And is the
I
third one
believe-
going to be Fast 11?
I believe what they've announced is that
Just
it's going to be
Fast 11.
it's Fast X,
The two words, fast,
Fast
fast
XI, and then Fast XII. I believe is the
We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it.
How does this relate to like The Last Witch Hunter? Are they going to do a crossover for Vin with like Triple X and The Last Witch Hunter for these?
I don't know what that is.
Those are the other series that Vin is doing.
Was there a crossover between The Witcher and Fast X?
The Last Witch Hunter or whatever it's
Oh.
called. No.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
I just figured that Vin would want to bring everything together.
Oh,
it seems like
yeah.
a Vin move.
Yeah.
Here's my question. If the last 3 of these movies have some continuation in how they're like titling it, is that supposed to be like a trilogy?
It is.
So
the,
it's like
the last 3 are like a 3-part movie.
It's a 3-part.
So yeah, this is not
stupid
It's
thing
not Fast
to do.
10. It's Fast. So it's not Fast 11. It's Fast 10 Part 2.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then
Final
there'll be
Fantasy.
Fast 10 Part 3.
Yeah, this is like
Correct.
Final Fantasy.
Correct.
I don't know.
So
That's
there-
lost on me.
Final Fantasy has there's like 20 games, but there's like Final Fantasy 14 and there's Final Fantasy 14 2 because none of them have anything to do with each other.
Oh,
So then Final Fantasy 14 2 is a sequel to 14,
Uh-huh.
but then Final Fantasy 15 has
Why don't
nothing
they
to do with
just
any
call
of
it
those.
Final Fantasy something else? Like give it a different title.
No idea.
like Final Fantasy Super Skills.
Yeah, sure.
What?
Yeah.
Where
I
did
like
you
that.
come up
Like
with that
Final
name?
Fantasy, the finalist.
There's a little box on my couch that says Super Skills.
Oh, okay.
I like the finalist as like the Final Fantasy, the finalist.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause
like Rambo First Blood Part
yeah,
2.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would have been a better thing, but I've only seen Rambo First Blood. So
Rambo First Blood Part 2.3.
Also known as Last Blood.
Mm. Say less.
Which, by the way, I actually liked.
I've only seen First Blood, so I,
I
have no
liked
idea.
Last Blood. I was
haven't seen any.
I was kind of a fan. I've seen every Rambo for sure.
All right. So I'm going to get into the facts a little bit. We have a new director.
Whoa.
F. Gary Gray.
Oh, this isn't another Denis Villeneuve or
This
whatever you
is
said.
not a Dennis Villeneuve
Wow, it had like a Dennis vibe.
or
So I'm
Dennis
surprised.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, but Roger
Um,
Deakins did shoot this one.
Okay, I believe that.
So F. Gary Gray is the director, written by Chris Morgan and Gary Scott Thompson. Released April 14th, 2017. Runtime of 136 minutes.
Jake has questions.
Sorry, you said his name was
somehow.
F. Gary Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the F for fast or furious?
Both. Yeah. Runtime 136 minutes. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 67%. IMDb gave it a 6.6. Pretty big gross here, $1.2 billion on a $250 million budget. So that's a 5x return. Weirdly enough, was not nominated for any awards.
Is this the first Fast movie to hit a B?
No, last
No.
one was.
Okay.
No. Yeah. They've already done it.
That's
They
so much money.
secured a B. In fact, they've done a bigger B. They did 1.5 in
Yeah.
Fast 7.
Fast 7 was their
Jeez.
biggest at 1.5. This one hit 1 point. This was 1.25. And then the next one goes to 3/4. So they're back on the decline.
So Fast 7 was peak Fast.
Peak Fast in terms of box office so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
Best return. It had an 8x.
Yeah. Which is
which
insane.
Fast movie is that? 8X?
Fast 7 had 8x.
Oh, that's the return. I thought you were talking about a different Fast movie.
Oh,
You
8X.
thought he was talking about Fast 8X.
Yeah.
Yeah, must have been.
It's the
Must have
80th. Once we get
Mm-hmm.
to 80, that's what it's going to be called. Fast 8x.
Fast 8X. I like it. I like it. What would be the never mind. I'm gonna move on. Scott, you've subjected us to this
I have.
for a whole season so far.
I'm a looking and I'm a liking.
uh
I don't know why. I don't understand why you
I
just said that.
yeah,
I don't understand it, but I do hate it.
I don't like it. That yeah, whatever you
What was
just
your
said.
question going to be?
You've subjected us to all this for a whole season. We're almost all the way through.
Yeah.
Uh,
Second to last installment.
how it like truly I'm super curious, how is this living up to or exceeding your expectations?
It has been exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
So no regrets then.
No. I knew they weren't good.
Okay.
And we've seen that. But I thought they would still bring me fun in watching them, which half of them have.
That's a high
Um,
number.
Yeah.
One of them has for me.
Here's the real question though. Are these movies better than the Spider-Man movies?
No.
Okay.
So have we settled that?
A definitive no.
I think
Unless Fast 9 is the best movie I've ever seen.
right. But that would still be a lot to overcome because, like the Spider-Man movies, like, as a whole, like there were a couple of good entries.
Yeah, like there are 3 good movies
Right.
and there are 3 movies that I like.
Right.
And then there are a couple bad ones.
Sure. Yeah.
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 And then this one is no good movies, 4 that I like, 5 bad ones. I'm assuming 9's going to be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it's a safe assumption
Yeah.
at this point. I will say, I'm going to jump in and give my take.
Hold on, why did Scott pick this? Tell us, Scott.
I think
I have no idea why you picked
I
it.
think we already covered that.
How funny would it have been if I skipped this one and went to 9?
Not funny.
Not
I would have
funny.
been so mad.
I would have been frankly furious.
Honestly, I would have watched 8 and I would have watched 8 in
If you
spite
just
of what
threw
you
in like
did.
12 Years a Slave and then went
Yeah.
right to
Yeah.
F9.
I would have been the furious in
Cool.
that.
So you said you wanted to jump in with your take?
Yeah, I'll jump in with my take. I actually really like this movie. I had a lot of fun. And I think that this franchise has like made like officially, like with 7, it was leaning that way. With 8, it was like really aggressively like trying to become a dumb action movie rather than a car movie. And I feel like in this movie, they've officially like made their transition where they're not a car movie anymore. They're just a dumb, fun action movie, action popcorn movie that has some cool car cameos.
Mm.
And that's it. And that's fine for me. Like I feel like it's finally like settled on a lane, and it's a lane that even though I might not like appreciate a lot, it's a lane that I like respect that a lot of people love, and I think they're doing a good job at executing on that lane.
Yeah, it's so when I said there's 4 of them that I like, this is actually the one of the ones that I'm including in it.
Yeah.
I actually thought this one was just as good as 7.
I thought it was better than 7, honestly.
I think honestly not having Brian made this movie so much better.
Just as good as 7
agree.
is a bar I could walk over and not notice.
Sure,
But it's the atmosphere
it's
we're
where
talking
we're
about.
at, Jake.
Yeah.
Like, buckle up. It's where we're at. We've done it 7 times already.
Like I think I
8
had
times. Yeah.
I would and
Or
6
7.
6 was my highest rated. I would put it probably above 7 but just under 6.
So this is your second favorite one.
I liked this more than 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
agree
more
that-
than 5 too. 'Cause you like
Yeah.
the other ones more than
I
5.
agree that
Right
not
now,
having
I would
Brian is
put-
great.
Right now I would say 6, 8, 7, 5. 309.
Okay.
All right. I'll go. This is my least favorite one so far.
Out of all of them.
Out of all
This is worse than Tokyo Drift.
This is my least favorite one.
This. Okay. Carry on.
They like
that kind of broke me, but I carry on.
these movies have just we've gotten to the point that I knew we were going to get to as soon as I was 30 minutes into one. These movies have just completely blended together for me. If you were to ask me what happened in this movie, like I'm gonna have a hard time. I take notes for these movies because I need to remember what to make fun of instead of like, oh, maybe I'll make fun of something that happened in 7 because I've just forgotten at this point. This is but I had such a hard time watching this movie. This movie was so great. Like you said, it's not a car movie, it's an action movie. I think it's an action movie where knowledge of cars and knowledge of driving is the most important thing, and that's what makes anybody smart or valuable. And I just think it's so insane.
With the exception of inexplicable computing skills.
That's true. What's
That
her
was
name?
that was a pretty big part of this film was that Tej and I can't remember the character's name.
Nathalie Emmanuel
Yeah.
is the actress.
Yeah, but the character's name I think started with an M.
I don't remember.
But the two of them are like super crazy
Yeah.
computer smart.
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Crazy that Tej knows how to code based off of
Oh, it's
the
insane.
second one.
It's absolutely
Right?
insane.
Like
no,
but-
it's absolutely insane. But he figured it out at some point.
Yeah, that's true. Those are the two values that people have. I had such a hard time watching this movie. I had to I had to pause and like get up and like walk around my house just to like kind of like take a break
That's so funny.
from these. I probably like 4 times I did that. I had such a hard time watching this movie.
That's how I felt with Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's fine. I fully realize that Blade Runner is like hard to watch for some people, myself included. But this is harder for me to watch than Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But this had your boy in it.
Luda?
No,
Who's in it?
Scott Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh yes, that's one of my things. I was texting Zach about this, and I was like, "Do you think that Clint is so disappointed in Scott for being the whipping boy of the Fast crew? Like, there's
beta character.
they're like Thanksgiving that year must have been like, why'd you let them say all those things about you?"
It's like, Dad, it was a character. I got paid a lot of money. I made $10 million off of that role.
If it was me, I would have sucked him right in the mouth.
Dad, you can't fix all your problems with a 45, okay?
Back in my day. What you do, you start
There
directing.
wasn't
these
enough
movies.
racial slurs in that for that to be believable.
You start directing these movies and you direct yourself into a weird threesome. That's what you got to do, son.
Dad, go back to the home. Zach,
Or being
you-
mayor of some town.
Yeah,
in
Zach,
California.
you seem to react pretty viscerally to my
I'm
reaction.
sorry, wait.
So
Did you say Clint's a mayor?
He was the mayor of a town. I don't know if he still
Was he
is.
really?
I don't know if he still is, but I think he was the mayor of some town in like Central California.
I know that.
Weird. I didn't know that.
No, I know that like 3-4 years ago or something like that. My dad like got him to like speak at like, or someone got him to speak at like a sheriff's conference for all of California. Like Clint Eastwood was the guest speaker. Like he has some like actual like political clout.
I believe it.
Clint Eastwood
Was it him or Tommy Lee Jones that spoke to the empty chair?
That was Clint.
That was Clint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clint was the mayor of Carmel by the Sea. Which
Oh
is
yeah,
a
it's a
really?
very
pretty
rich town.
important
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty rich town.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyway, Zach, you seem to react pretty viscerally to my my take on this movie.
Yeah.
What do you think watching?
I may agree with Jake that this was my least favorite one. Didn't like it. I also had a hard time watching it. It was bad and not in a fun bad. Like Tokyo Drift and the second one were awful, but were a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch. This just made me mad. I was mad watching it. And I think I had a harder time paying attention to this than Blade Runner because nothing mattered. I could have missed an hour of it and I wouldn't have mattered. You
could
know?
have missed 2 hours of it.
Yeah. I could have read the wiki and come away with the exact same that I came away with watching the film.
But you wouldn't have seen the cool stunts.
Can I
Here's the
tell
thing,
you
I
something?
didn't feel like this had like I didn't feel like it had the cool set pieces. It felt
When all the cars were like driving into one line, like that, like on from all streets converging onto one street, like pummeling down the zombie scene. You didn't think that was like pretty cool to watch?
the zombie scene.
Where she was controlling all the cars.
And
Here-
she was like, yeah, it's
The way you described that at first was maybe the lamest thing you when all the cars were driving in one lane.
okay.
Is that when they're on the ice?
When all the cars, no,
No, in the
in
streets
the
when-
city, when all the cars converge from different roads onto one line
To attack the limousine.
to attack the limousine, like completely uncontrolled.
Did you
like,
take an hour off
just
of watching
that?
this movie?
Yeah, like
I did not, and I still don't remember.
I know
that.
exactly what he's
it
talking
was
about.
so freaking cool. Like that was really great stunt work.
It had
Like,
no impact on me. I don't remember it.
I just don't think you. I don't know, man. I'm gonna take. I'm
Did
gonna
I
pick
not-
some nits.
Did I
on
not
this.
get the Fate of the Furious?
No, I don't think you don't get
Get over
it.
your head.
I don't think that's that you don't get it.
This is actually
I do
Charlize
think-
Theron's best performance.
I do think that there is some element to like the difficulty of like making a film like this at the scale that they made it at that I am genuinely impressed by. Like, and I don't know how anyone couldn't be impressed by. Like this was a super impressive production.
Here's the thing. Like, you could tell me, like, Apple has the VR headset. Is that impressive? Cool. I don't care.
I know, but you care about movies, and like I'm telling you, as someone who cares
But
about
not these
movies,
movies.
but as someone who cares about movies, like I'm just saying, like the production on this, like which is, I don't know, at least a third of a film. The production on this was exceptional.
I'm not going to argue that that's not the case, but I just can't.
Care. You
I can't care,
You can't
yeah.
be bothered to care about all of the crew's work and the technical aspect.
Not if I don't like the movie.
Of a film.
I mean, cool. Good for you guys. Like, I'm glad you guys did a good job, but I still didn't like the movie.
Like, here's what I'll say.
I don't really care about the John Wick movies, but I know that those are like technically like great.
Like they made $1 billion. So there's something that Zach and I are wrong about. But that doesn't change my opinion.
No, we're not
That's fair.
wrong.
All right.
We've said from the get-go that these are bad movies. So like, we're not
Yeah.
wrong if I'm not wrong for not liking a movie.
No,
Yeah, I guess I should. Yeah,
you're
there's
not.
something that people attach to. That
And I
we
didn't
don't.
say that this like that the
I
stunt
didn't
work is
say you should like it.
unimpressive.
I didn't say you should like it. You just said it was bad, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Technically, man, I think it's pretty good. And like, you're like, I just don't care. And I'm like, okay, well then that's fine. But like, I'm just telling you, technically, like, there was a lot in this that was really good.
Well, and I've said that exact same thing about past Fast movies. So like, I'm not changing my opinion, but just like this movie, I didn't like the story at all. I thought the villain was lame. So all that stuff, I'm not engaged
fair.
at all. And so I don't care.
Whoa,
And I
you didn't
did
like Cypher,
no. And I did
the
think
female version, not the male version from The Matrix.
Damn you, Cypher.
like I just personally the set piece of them driving from building to building in Abu Dhabi or wherever they were was way more fun than any set piece in this one. I don't remember it.
Fair enough.
But I won't say that the stunt work crew didn't do a good job.
What about the lengths that Dominic Toretto went to for family?
I mean,
Could you be more specific?
I could get to a big issue that I had with
Yeah,
this.
let's
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
into
oh,
it.
yeah, let's do it.
I don't think this I got mad that this movie made me that they killed a mother in front of their child in this movie. I don't think these movies are serious enough to do that. These movies are fun, lighthearted movies. I don't want to see Vince deal with
Vin.
the oh yeah, Vin. Like
Whatever his name is.
these movies are too stupid to pull something that traumatic.
That's fair. I didn't think they were
They
going to do
didn't
it.
play it up as that traumatic, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they played that up as that traumatic.
But
The fact that they had to cut away from something
what
they
it
were
was
doing,
alone is traumatic
It
enough.
didn't cut away at all.
it did. They didn't show her getting shot.
No, but they didn't show her the gun pointed at her head either. Like the camera stayed on that frame the entire length of the gunshot.
I don't think you're right.
I'm 100% right. I promise you.
I will
The camera,
rewatch
the
part of
camera,
this.
the camera was focused on Charlize Theron, and it was about her reaction and Vin's reaction to what was about to happen. And what's his name? The redhead from Game of Thrones.
Oh, Tormund?
Tormund, like off frame, points the gun at her head. She screams, and Charlize Theron, we see her reaction, and he pulls the trigger, and we see Charlize Theron's reaction, and then we see Vin's reaction to that. Like that's how the scene was shot. They didn't cut away. It wasn't like a point the gun at her head and then we cut away and then a bang or anything like that. They kept the frame on the whole time. But it goes to Scott's point. Like, I don't think they were playing that up that dramatically. It was just
it doesn't matter how much they played it up or not. It's like it's in the content itself. Like, and maybe it's because like I'm a new father, but I can't not think about like the
that's fair.
trauma that this baby just like endured and that Vin just endured.
buckle up for 10.
Oh, good Lord.
So many more parents die in front of children.
Buckle
Oh,
up
jeez.
for 10.
Yeah, like I don't come to
We're gonna put not one but two babies in mortal jeopardy.
I don't
Can-
come to the
can I
fast
say
movies
something?
to watch this, you know?
Just watch the scene. You are wrong.
Okay.
They show him, they showed Tormund pull the gun out, cock it, point it at her head, then they cut away.
Yeah, but the gunshot doesn't happen then. The gunshot happens after then. They hold on Charlize Theron for the gunshot.
They cut away to Charlize Theron for the gunshot.
It doesn't matter. I come to these movies to have fun. Executing a mother in front of your baby is not fun. I don't want that in
I don't
my
know.
fast movie.
I had a lot of fun in this movie. I
yeah,
had
I
a
mean,
blast.
I wouldn't say I had fun during that particular
No, not that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I had a ton of fun in this movie.
Can I say
so
what
and
I
I'm not
had?
saying that like that I was into it and then that ruined it for me, but I'm just like, come on.
Can I talk about the bigger issue I had
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah, go for it.
So Vin is doing all this for his son. And then Jason Statham saves his son. Cool. Why doesn't he get his son before they come back from Russia?
That's where they were meeting.
But they were all in Russia together, and then he waited a while to get his kid back. Like he was like, "Don't come to me at the barbecue with the kid."
Yeah, they're all on like that rooftop. And
but
then
presumably
Jason
they
Statham
traveled
shows
back
up with
from
the
Russia
baby way later.
together.
Who knows where the plane that they were
Yeah,
on
the
went,
plane.
though?
They like Jason Statham was on a plane.
But you don't think that he like landed that? And you
No.
you don't think that he could have gotten the baby sooner than the barbecue? Like I feel like he would
I
have
feel
gotten
like
the baby.
we're picking nits in this movie that we haven't for all the other movies.
I
I'm saying-
agree
I
wholeheartedly.
feel like
I'm not
all
even
we've
dead.
ever done is pick nits at these movies.
Zach, you're a new dad. Let's say you have been separated from your babies for their whole
that
life,
you didn't know about.
for their whole life, and then you find out about them, and then somebody else has them that's your friend. Are you gonna wait? Or are you gonna go to the babies?
And by the way, not only are they're the babies that you've never known about, they're the babies from a girl that's not your wife.
but are you gonna go to the babies as soon as you can?
I would think that there's a way that I can get to my son a little quicker than like, hey, pull up to the barbecue.
And would you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I would.
Yeah.
I'm not Vin though.
But family's everything to Vin.
It's true. It didn't seem like that kid was as important to him.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception for all of the moments that like
The
he
whole
was
No,
like,
just at
the
the
whole
end, just at the
movie,
end.
the whole
point of the
movie was
how
that
important the
like
kid is to him.
he was like, I would literally take down this plane and kill myself right now if it wasn't for this child on
I
board.
feel like all we've done for any of these episodes is talk about how stupid they are. And Jake and I are doing that, and you guys are like getting so defensive of
Because
it.
we like them and we told you we like them.
This is what they do when you
But
weren't
I've
there.
And-
liked a lot of them, and I still talk about how stupid they are.
I think I do too, and I'm happy to talk about like stupid points, but you're like bringing up like things that aren't all that stupid. You're nitpicking. Like it's like there are way bigger problems to this movie. Like the friggin' score to this movie was so awful. It was so god awful. It was
I
terrible.
didn't
argument
even
for
notice
me.
the score.
I don't remember.
It was terrible.
My favorite part
And
was
in a franchise that has tried to like pride itself on like, you know, like their music or whatever. Like this was their worst entry.
my favorite part was when he just yelled, "Hold on to the door." And then he just bursts out of the ice and he's like gliding on the door.
Oh,
being
yeah.
dragged by- I was like, yeah.
I like that. I thought that was pretty dope.
That was. It was speaking of the death though. I think that they cut away from the mom's death so that they can bring her back.
She does come back.
Are you kidding me?
Does she?
Oh,
Nobody
really?
dies!
Gosh.
That's my
I'm-
biggest
I'm
problem.
like 89% certain I remember her in Fast X.
It has to be a flashback or something.
No, like there's no flashbacks. I can for sure say there really aren't flashbacks in Fast X.
Unless I see somebody go and check somebody's pulse, I'm not going to believe anybody's dead.
No, nobody dies in this franchise.
It's
Like that is something very wrong with it for sure. Like,
Big
yeah,
fan
nobody
of,
dies. Like it's,
Jason Statham being a part of the family now, though,
I am too. I like it.
is a good addition.
It makes me want to watch Hobbs and Shaw.
I would, yeah, I'm actually more interested in Hobbs and Shaw than I am in F9, the Fast Saga.
Me too.
so we're talking about nits to pick.
Are we?
I am. So the beginning of this movie, Vin is racing for his cousin's car, and then completely destroys it, and then gives his cousin his car. Why didn't he just give his cousin his car?
Because he was trying to make
He
an
was
ally.
trying to win respect. He was trying to get an ally. Yeah.
I guess he did get an ally.
Who comes in very much in clutch later in the movie. Like it's part of the plot. Why?
Yeah, I guess I wrote that note down before we got to that part, but that just felt so silly to me. That whole entire scene.
I liked it. I
No,
thought it was,
I thought it was really silly.
Yeah?
I didn't like
Okay.
it at all.
Yeah.
I liked it in the moment. I was like, you know what, man? That's great, Vin. Like that is the right decision.
Well, and the whole thing was the thing that switched was the way he talked about Letty. Like
Wait,
that's what
what?
made him do the race. He was going to walk away.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
So it was more out of just like earning like the respect or like getting back at the guy for the way he disrespected his wife.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't about the car at that point.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If I was to disrespect your wife, would you challenge me to a street race?
If that was our thing, I guess, I don't know. And I could like get something super valuable from you because of it and make you feel like a
Here's the
little-
thing.
But then he gave it back
Here's
to
the
you.
thing,
You didn't,
Jake.
you didn't take it from
Jake,
me.
here's the thing.
but he earned it. And then that's even more demeaning. Like, oh, I now gifted it back to you.
Yeah, it's not demeaning. It's just like it's earning allies. Like that's I mean, how to win friends and influence. What is it? People. Like that's just pretty straight up normal human behavior. That's a thing we do all the time.
I would never have done any of those things.
But you also probably wouldn't have ever gotten into street racing.
I'm talking about the motivation, Jake. It would be the same thing if we were talking about chess. If you and I were super into chess, would I challenge and I knew I could beat you, and you were really good at chess, and you valued being really good at chess, and you disrespected my wife? For sure, I'm challenging you to a chess match so that I can wipe the floor with you. And then, if I'm smart, I'm going to find some way to give you your dignity at the end of it, so that we're not enemies on the outside of it. That's not like stupid. That is very like high level game strategy. Like, I don't understand why you could be like, that's so silly and stupid. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I think that
just
was a silly and
objectively a really smart move.
Like
Like,
a silly and dumb thing. Scene. The whole scene was silly and dumb. But now all I can think about is the people in Scott's neighborhood I saw playing chess earlier.
Really?
Oh, there were just
Yeah,
there were
in the
just two
garage.
guys in the garage. Huge mood. They were just like sitting in the
Wow.
garage. They were drinking beers.
It was
and
like
they
an
were playing chess.
oversized board too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Was it
And-
like the Pixar game where it's just one old man playing chess against
No,
himself?
it was two older guys, and they looked like they were having a good time. Like I wanted to just be sitting there. I almost didn't come here and
you
and
were
went
just-
over there.
That's
like,
the kind of mood
I'm
we
just gonna-
keep in this neighborhood.
These
Yeah.
are my new friends.
I really liked it. Like, and I'm not joking. I'm not like making fun of them. I really
no,
liked
yeah,
it.
We
totally.
got big chess energy here.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. That's what this neighborhood really needs.
Yeah, big
There's
chess.
that like there's two chess moods. There's that I've seen. There's that one, and there's a donut shop by my house that I like. And like I would say every other time I go in there, they're the two same old guys that will just sit there and play chess and eat donuts and drink coffee. And that's like an ideal old man scenario for me. So maybe Tyler, maybe I need to get into chess.
Maybe
what I'm
one
saying.
day
That's the
this will
takeaway of
happen.
this episode.
My hypothetical. Maybe one day we'll
I'll have
we'll
to
make it a reality.
I feel like
I'll have to get married,
I'll have to disrespect your wife,
and then you'll have to
Which
disrespect
feels like-
my wife.
it's something I would never do.
Yeah.
But
You'll have to make sure you invite one of your cousins
Why? Oh, so
to
that
start the whole thing.
to start the.
well, he'll have to
kick it
make
all
sure that
off.
one of his cousins gets indebted to me.
Yeah, I can make that happen pretty easily. Like that sounds easy.
As long as you're willing to like
Loan money.
loan something.
Yeah, I'm not willing to take on debts, honestly.
No
Right
liabilities.
Yeah, I don't really want to be in that position.
Was there anything that worked for you guys, or is this like a complete zero?
I mean, it's not a complete zero. Because it's not Requiem for a Dream, right?
It's close to a complete zero for me.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't have fun with it. I thought Cypher was awful.
Oh, you know what? Can I?
I'm gonna be a little like, maybe not that like incendiary, but like I would watch this 1,000 more times before I watch Blade Runner once again.
That's insanely incendiary, because that would be like 3,000 hours, or like 2,500 hours.
Yeah, I would do it.
Before you would spend less than 2 hours watching Blade Runner.
Yeah. This is just a more enjoyable. Like I could watch this movie for easily 100 more times. Like not batting an eye.
I feel like Tyler's out for blood today a little
I
bit.
think so. Because there's not a single movie. My favorite movies. I would watch Blade Runner once before I'd watch my all-time favorite, like Inglourious Basterds. I gave Inglourious Basterds a perfect 10. I'd watch Blade Runner once before I'd watch Inglourious Basterds 100 times. Absolutely.
But that's the difference between you and I, Jake, is that I actually have watched movies 100 times. Like many
But
movies.
you said 1,000.
I know, and I meant it, but you said 100, and I'm like,
You
dude,
said it. You said 100.
I know.
And
No,
1,000.
I said 1,000.
Yeah,
you
you
said
said both.
100,
You said both.
and I said I have watched movies 100 times, many of them. Many of them.
1,000.
I would so watch this 1,000 times before I watch it. Yeah, sure, but I'm just saying it's that much. It's 1,000 times more enjoyable of a movie to me than Blade Runner.
But the 500th time that you watch this movie, you will be begging for Blade Runner
I doubt it.
because it's not this.
I doubt it.
Wow.
I doubt it. Because this was a fine movie. I don't think this is an exceptional film by any means. This is nowhere near anything like a lot of the movies that we've done. This is not a Citizen Kane. This is not a Schindler's List. This is not a Good Will Hunting. We haven't done, but we can't. But, that kind of a thing. Like, this is not that kind of movie. But this is so much more enjoyable than a lot of the stuff that we've reviewed.
I've never heard anybody be more unreasonably dug it. I can't even argue.
I don't know what there's to argue about. I'm just saying I prefer this movie that much more. I don't know how you could argue that.
Because you would never watch this movie 1,000 times.
I might
Do it.
I mean, truly, in the
Do it.
span of my life, like that's not unreasonable for me.
It is 100% unreasonable to spend 2,000 hours watching this movie. That's an insane statement.
I think I'm being hyperbolic.
But I'm saying
Do you think I'm not being hyperbolic?
I'm saying that you wouldn't do it, and you're saying you would do it.
I'm saying that it is reasonable that I might see this movie 1,000 times over the span of my life.
So that's not hyperbolic.
I'm saying it's reasonable that might happen. I'm not saying I'm trying to do it. You're like, do it, man, do it. I'm like, I'm just saying it's entirely possible. I watch movies this many times over a lot.
What movie have you seen 1,000 times?
I'm not saying 1,000 times, Jake. I'm saying I rewatch movies in the 100 or hundreds of times a lot. I feel like you're the one being like really like, over the top about this, man. I'm just saying I enjoy this movie. I enjoy it 1,000 times more than I like something like Blade Runner.
I don't agree,
And
but I would like to move on.
My favorite part of this whole thing was just watching Zach's face. Like every back and forth, Zach was just like uncomfortable.
I just don't know like how enjoyable of content.
Yeah, that's why we should move on.
None of this has been enjoyable. None of this has been enjoyable.
Back to the question that started this: was there anything redeemable that you guys liked?
I have something that I wrote down that was a good thing. So there's a picture reveal in this where they show Dom going against them, and everybody's like, "Whoa, that made sense to me." More than the Letty picture reveal in 5 or whichever one it was. I liked that. It made sense to me. Why everybody was concerned.
You liked that people recognized his picture?
Yeah, why everybody was concerned about that photo. Like that made sense to me over other picture reveals in this series.
That's your one pro for this?
It's
was
one of the pros.
people
It's one of the pros.
recognized his picture?
This scene made sense to me more than previous versions of this scene.
All right.
It's a note I had.
I can't think. I can't think of anything that I like remember enjoying. Like I can't.
Did you like the back and forth with like The Rock and Jason Statham?
You know what? And here's the thing. I think Jake brought this up is like when I'm remembering that, I don't remember if it's from this movie or a different one. Like it's starting to all kind of bleed together for me. I'm picturing a specific scene in my mind where The Rock says something quippy and Jason Statham kind of smiles and it kind of seems like there's a bond. And I couldn't tell you if that's in this movie or a different one.
It's this one because it's the first one where there's any kind of bond.
See, that's the thing is like you could have told me that happened in a different one and I could have just believed it. Like I don't remember. Part of it too is like I watched this movie I think about a month ago. So I remember it not very well. But yeah, that was kind of fun, I think.
I do have one more thing that I absolutely loved. And that was that Vin kept calling himself the Tiger. He was like, "Oh, you stepped on
you're stepping on the tiger's neck." Yeah.
But he was the only one that was saying that. And then at the end when he kills Tormund, he's like, "The tiger's loose," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where
And
Vin
that
said
was
some pretty awful one-liners.
I loved that. Like unironically, that was awesome.
He's like, the one thing about stepping on a tiger's neck is you can never get off of it.
Yeah, you can never let your foot off its neck.
That was
and then once he
later,
kills
he
kills
"The foot's off
Tormund,
the
he
neck."
tells her like I just killed your guy and you just let your foot off the tiger's neck.
that was unironically awesome. I wish I could give myself a nickname like that, but nobody else could pull that off.
I don't know if that was a nickname.
I don't think it was
like
a
metaphor.
But, yeah.
I hope he goes by the Tiger in future movies is what I'm saying.
And people are just like, "What? When did you start doing that, Vin?"
He's like, "Oh, I've made it up for myself. Like, I'm the tiger now." Remember when they shot my ex-lover?
That made me
That made me the Tiger.
That made me the tiger.
That's when the tiger was born.
Yeah, around the same time as my son.
Yeah. But yeah, like that, pretty sweet.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think there's lots of things to like make fun of in this movie, but for me, it was just as enjoyable as the other ones. Like, I don't see how you can say 6 or 7 or 5
was the one
were
that I
fun,
liked?
and this one isn't. Like, they're the same movie to me.
Not
Part of
to
it
me,
too is like
Except this one was like done better.
which one was the one that I liked?
I think you liked 7 the most.
No, I
or
didn't like
6?
7 at all.
6 was our highest rated one
Yeah.
for the pod.
6 was fun. I just didn't have fun with this one.
6 is the one that they made fun of in this one about Jason Statham's brother having a bad experience with planes.
maybe,
Right.
maybe part of it is taking Vin out of the team. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that affects it, a little bit.
The other thing that was I just kept questioning, and I don't know why it was, because this is not the first movie where this has been the case, but it was thrown into my face so much when they were like, we're looking at the only 2 people that have ever tracked down Dominic Toretto. And it's like, when did Dom go from guy who boosts DVD players to Jason Bourne?
Yeah, but we've asked that
It's-
question.
it's-
like,
yeah, it's been in the
10
last 4
times so
movies.
far.
I know, but it was just for some reason it was so much more in my face, this movie, and I don't know what it was.
I think it was 4, Fast 4, when
I
he
did-
did all
Yeah,
the
Fast
Mexico
Forward was
stuff.
where it started. Yeah,
I did
so
have the thought when Dominic Toretto like gets on when he's supposed to like intercept something from like a Russian politician or something like that, right? And he's
That's
got
the
like a
limousine
shield.
scene.
Oh yeah, okay. I vaguely remember this now. Yeah.
That's the limousine scene Tyler
Yeah.
was talking about earlier.
Oh, because
I'm like, I feel like I'm taking crazy
It's
pills.
after they've all crashed.
Yeah.
Oh, when his car beats all 8 of their cars,
Well, he was talking about later about
he
when
was-
he goes up to the limousine with the Captain America.
that was
shield.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The-
no,
okay.
nope. The hook
'Cause he was
part.
out of his
this
car at
was
that
all
point.
before.
The hook part was kind of cool. I kind of liked the hook part.
That was after.
When Dominic gets on the car
Yeah.
and he's
That's
holding.
before.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't,
he's not doing
I don't know
chronological,
when.
he's just talking about what he likes.
I don't know
Yeah.
when anything happens. When Dominic gets on the car and he's got the shield, and I know that he is in pain because his son is being held hostage. But there had to have been a part of him that was thinking like, my life is so much cooler than it used to be.
Oh, definitely.
I'm literally the Winter Soldier. right
definitely.
now.
Definitely.
Did we know about his son at that point?
Yes.
I don't know when anything
Yes.
happened. I don't know the chronological order at all.
I feel
I
like
don't
you
know
guys
what's
are
in this
crapping
one.
on a movie that you didn't watch.
I watched it.
To be
It's
fair,
just so
Like, this is a movie that I know that you guys are like, maybe this happened, but I hated all of it. And I'm like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
okay, to be fair, if I don't like it, it's going to be a lot harder for me to pay attention. I watched this about a month ago. We're on the 8th freaking Fast and Furious movie. They're all bad. They're all bleeding together. I feel like I'm going crazy watching these movies.
I hate you for this.
Oh, this isn't my fault.
This is your fault.
You guys all said this would be a fun idea.
I didn't.
I don't hate you for this.
They said this would be a
Like,
fun
hey,
idea.
Hey, I'm on your
I
side right
hate
now.
you for this.
I'm on your side.
I
talking
know,
positively
and
about
that's
this
why I
movie.
hate you for this. You put me in this situation.
I didn't do. You can crap on the movie. It wouldn't bother me.
I don't want to crap on the movie. I want to be honest. I liked the movie
Then I don't understand why you're getting upset.
because of this.
Because we have to talk about the movie.
No, because you knew the two of them would hate this.
I had never seen them before.
Did you think that we would hate this one?
No, I'm actually a little surprised you guys hated this so much.
This one just felt like lazier to me. I don't know why. Like
legitimately-
script wise,
I just don't even remotely I feel like we didn't watch even the same movie.
Like legitimately to me, this was just as good as like 7 and 6.
7
yeah,
sucked.
I don't know.
like this is as good as these get, and it's actually finally found a lane, and it's living in it, and it's executing pretty well in that lane.
I think it found
like-
a lane back in like 5.
No, definitely not.
So then everyone who says those are the best ones are like,
There are people who are really into the car portion of those movies.
but that's
I don't
when it
know,
started
because
to not be about the car.
There are people
No,
that I know that are
it
not
started to
car
not be about the
people.
cars in 7. It was 7, 8, and 9 are
But-
the ones that are like they jumped the shark into just being an action movie, not being a car movie anymore. And like, I mean, there were in 5 there were several cars that I was like, in particular I was like, oh my god, like the LFA, like that's one of the sexiest cars that's ever been created in the history of cars. I talked about it for 5 minutes, that car that was like a character in 5. Like, no,
I'm happy to be wrong on any argument when it comes to Fast and Furious, but I can't help that I just didn't like the movie.
yeah,
fair.
it's fair. I'm not mad that you didn't like it. I'm mad that you're like being so that you both are being so dismissive over, like, I don't know, that you guys are being so dismissive.
Just we've never challenged each other this intensely about any of the Fast and Furious movies.
I'm just
I
wondering.
know, because I haven't liked any of them until now.
This is the first one you liked?
This is the one I've liked the most by a lot. And I
Okay,
said that at the
that's
very beginning
fine.
of this episode. I opened with like, hey, like I actually really like this a lot. And then you guys like got super like aggro on
I
on
didn't feel like
it,
we
and,
were
like,
aggro at all. Did you think we were aggro?
No, I just said it's my least favorite one.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing: is you guys have like, I've said this is my favorite movie of all time, and you guys have spent 5 years trashing.
That's true.
So
That's
like,
fair. That's
and
fair.
I
And I'll
haven't
take
gotten,
that.
I haven't gotten this upset about.
I
it.
will take. Well,
I've just said
I'll
like,
take
yeah,
that. I'll take that.
You've been
I don't-
upset at times.
You've been
though.
pretty
but not
upset.
like actually upset. Like,
Do you think
nothing
I'm
has gotten
actually?
well, nothing has gotten this contentious over it.
Here's my thing. For me, 8 is like the same like type of stuff as 7 and 6. And so for us to like rate those where we did, they're still not high,
No,
but we rated them in the 6s and 7s.
right.
To then say that this is borderline 0. I'm
I
like,
never said this is
crazy to
borderline
me.
0.
No, Zach did. Though.
I said it was my least favorite.
Zach did though.
Here's how it felt to me. It's like when a band has like, and no, this isn't even a great, like, it's not even a great metaphor because I don't want to necessarily say that Fast 6 or 7 is a great album, but it's like when a band has an album that you really
Agreed.
like.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they kind of just do the same thing again. And it's just like, oh man, like this just kind of felt like you've rehashed the last one, but like felt not nearly as like exciting or like it just kind of feels like you're retreading the same ground, but worse. That's just kind of how this one felt to me. And maybe like the fast fatigue is just starting to set in for me. But I think Cypher was like a really cringy villain. So she really took me out of it. I thought, I think
What was
Charlize
cringy
Theron,
about
I
I
think
think
Yeah,
all of her dialogue, like
I thought she was one of the
best
better
villain
villain
yet.
yet.
I think because it was Charlize Theron, I was expecting maybe too much because I thought that she was, but I think I agree. I think she was just like, she fell flat for me. But I saw Charlize Theron, I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, I don't think she was like, I probably wouldn't even say that she's the best villain yet. I know that you just kind of said that
I
you
said
thought so,
I think she was,
but
yeah.
I think she's in the top 2 or 3. Like I actually thought she was one of the better villains.
I mean, she's definitely more memorable than like the guy from 4. I don't even remember his name, you know, or 5.
he comes back, by the way.
Who was the
I
villain
know.
in 4?
He's the
drug lord guy.
drug lord.
But, like,
the
Braga?
drug
I
lord's
thought Braga
father.
was 3.
No, it's Braga's father
Okay.
is the really
But like
Big
the
baddie.
Luke Evans and Jason Statham, those characters, those were like really fun villains in my opinion. Because they were cool, they were quippy. It was still kind of lighthearted.
Mhm.
Cypher felt like so intense and dark and like really malicious.
Mhm.
That just felt like really off-putting and like a weird tone that I don't want
Yeah.
in my fast.
She was
and Furious
threatening
movie.
nuclear war, nuclear
And
action.
she murdered, you know,
a
Dom's
lot of
baby
people.
mama,
A lot
you
of
know?
people too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the villain in this does have a darker tone than some of the other villains.
I think maybe too, it's just starting to feel a little too convoluted with all the characters now that Mr. Nobody is like a regular and The Rock is a regular, which I like The Rock in these movies, but it's like every movie we're adding just another person to keep track of. We even replaced Brian with Scott Eastwood, you know, it's feeling a little convoluted. In another,
Well,
I remember
we replaced Brian with a baby.
Baby Nobody, isn't that his name or something?
Baby
like that?
Brian.
He was talking about the
Oh,
actual yeah. What did you guys
baby.
think? What did you guys think about Dominic naming him Brian, even though Brian's not dead in this?
That felt so weird to
It was
me.
weird. It was weird. It was-
Yeah, it-
that was what I was trying to bring up. I was
Yeah.
trying to be funny, but I guess it didn't land,
It
but-
felt like a tribute to a dead relative who's still alive.
Yeah,
It was still, and like the thing that I don't understand is that Brian is alive and not participating, but like apparently his kid participates and his wife participates, and he's just like,
well, we don't know that yet.
but eventually,
That's true.
Well, you don't know that yet.
Well,
Yeah.
they don't participate at all. They are just hostages.
okay. But he's not like, I'm gonna save my son and my wife. But like my understanding was his whole motivation for not getting involved was his family. But then his family's threatened. He's like, I'm not getting involved still. Like that just makes me like feel like, oh, why are we like ruining the character of Brian?
Don't get me wrong. I said this in episode 7. They should have killed him off.
Yeah, definitely should
I
kill them.
100% agree with you. I don't want to get into what's going to happen in future movies to talk about this movie.
True. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Especially since we haven't seen them,
It's just
and
been-
we're
it's
only
just
going
Like,
off
I don't
my
know what's going to
limited
happen. Yeah, we're going off
information.
of something from 10. We don't know any of the context from 9. Maybe
Right.
something happens in
So
9.
it's something I've been thinking about since I found that information.
uh-huh.
But here's a sillier question. So the Rock, his daughter is playing soccer.
Yeah.
Why did they make the other team sit there for that war dance?
It's like warm-ups.
But like the other team just had to sit there and watch.
I mean, it's like a Remember the Titans type of thing. Remember that?
Like
Like they would go on the field and do warm-ups on their own sides of the field.
But that it seemed like they were like waiting to start the game for this. They were like, let's let them do their war dance.
It's probably something they have in. I had stuff like that in sports where like you got to do like a cheer or something beforehand.
It just it felt very silly.
I didn't think anything of it.
Wait, are you like? Yeah. Anyway,
It just was. I felt very silly to me to be like, oh, hey guys,
it
let's let them talk. Let's let them trash
it
talk
is-
so hard.
I think
it
what
is
felt
it is like a super recognized like thing that has to be allowed in most sports because it is a spiritual like exercise. And so like in particular, the most famous sports team known for it is the New Zealand All Blacks that do the haka before every single game. And it looks way more intense than that. Like it's just a thing. Like the haka is like a well-known religious expression that happens in sports, and especially soccer and rugby.
the thing that was more weird to me was it feels like they're setting up Mr. Nobody to be a part of the family.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that
do
is
you
weird.
have nothing else to do? Like, he just feels like he's supposed to be this like godlike character outside of the family that like steps in every once in a while, but now he's like there, and it just feels weird to me.
Mr. Nobody could have been a character I would have been fine with if he was in just one.
That's what I was I thought that too. It was surprising to have him come
Yeah.
back.
I think one of my biggest issues with Mr. Nobody is that he's just like a Deus Ex Machina kind of a thing. Like he just kind of comes in and like fixes the problem that like no one can fix suddenly, like somehow. Like that's my bigger problem with him is the way they use him. Like I like Kurt Russell. I'd be fine Mr. Nobody as a character like had more of a bigger role, but like just the way they use him sucks.
Mhm. Yeah, I think as I interpret the character, it's just he is also a device
Mm-hmm.
just to supply
Totally.
them with resources
Exactly.
to be able to have all these
He's a
cars and tanks
non-character.
and all those types of things.
I'm unclear.
Which is
of-
why it just feels weird that they're trying to make him into a person and be a part of the family.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm also unclear about how Scott Eastwood fits into all of this in the family. Like, is he like permanently with them now?
I don't think so.
But he was like chilling at the barbecue, right?
Yeah, he was invited to the barbecue.
I
But-
think what happens is every big event they have a big barbecue that they are allowed. The family is allowed to invite other players.
But they did
from the game.
but they didn't invite Mr. Nobody.
No, he was not. Well,
Mr.
maybe
Nobody
he was
was
invited,
there.
but he declined. Oh, was he there?
Yeah,
Mr. Nobody
Oh,
was
that's right. Because
he was
says,
at the barbecue.
He says, "Oh, this will be good when the baby comes in with Jason."
"Uh-huh."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like, it felt like he was becoming part of the family, but maybe it's what I just said, and it's that
Right.
he was just a part of it. So although he wasn't at the 7 barbecue. So.
No. He wasn't.
No, 7 didn't have a barbecue. It ended with Brian driving off.
I thought
Oh,
That's the only movie that didn't.
6 had the barbecue.
6 had a
7 is the
barbecue
only movie
in
that didn't
LA.
end with them having a
You're
meal
right.
together.
You're right. 7's the only one so far.
Interesting.
Wait.
I don't know, man.
No.
It's so hard to remember.
Tokyo Drift didn't end with a barbecue.
Tokyo
But
Drift.
that wasn't the whole family. That was just like
I just completely.
None of the family.
Yeah.
Is
some
he-
dude pretending to be a 16-year-old.
Is DK coming back?
I don't think DK died.
But does he come back?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Are you talking about the new DK or the
The
old
new
DK?
DK, not the old DK.
I think he's in 10, but I don't fully remember.
They have to stop bringing him back because he looks so shot out.
Oh
He's-
yeah,
He looks older than Vin. Is he older than Vin? Because he looks older than him.
I would believe it.
I think
In real
Vince just
life?
got good
Yeah,
genes.
I don't think so.
Wow, he looks older.
Yeah, Vin's like almost 60.
But yeah, Vin looks good for his age.
Vin is almost 60?
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that.
What you say we put this one in the books?
Yeah, we can put it in the books. Was there anything else that you really liked about it? You said this was your favorite one. Was
There was a lot, but it's okay. Let's put it in the books.
all right. I'm gonna go first. I'm going to give this a 7.3. Zach.
I'll give this one 5.9.
Oh
DKs, old DKs.
Scott, you have
Oh,
to
I
give
didn't do a-
you have to give a
7.3 babies is named after a not dead relative.
nice.
Jake.
So I said this is my least favorite one. And my lowest score so far is a 4.
Mhm.
So I'm going 3.8.
That's pretty low.
That's really low, dude.
But yeah, that's I don't know if I feel right about that. I think I might have been too hard.
It might be your least favorite,
On
but was it
previous
the
ones?
worst? Like
Yeah.
in all the technical aspects
was it
and
the
everything
worst
too?
movie?
Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it's not. It was my least favorite, but I don't think I can say this was a 3.8.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
If
gonna,
I implied at some point I thought this was the worst movie, I don't necessarily think that. I think I just enjoyed this one the
Yes,
least.
worst versus least favorite is different.
Because there's
Yeah.
a point
So
where you can
I'm coming
start
back.
to
I'm changing it.
you can start to be entertained by how bad it was, and I just wasn't entertained with this one.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I'm gonna give this a 5.6.
bad ratings.
Nukes.
Nukes.
Sub nukes.
Tyler.
I'm gonna give this 7.3 baby rescues out of airplanes.
Nice. Comes out to a 64%, which makes it movie number 128 out of 155. So not in the bottom 20 at least.
What did the other two people rate this? The 76.
67 and 66.6.
Nice.
And so,
So
we came in just under them.
We're pretty in
64.
line.
Yep. So Furious 7 got a 69%, and then Furious 6 got a 71%. That was our only one that got above 7
Mm.
was Furious 6.
Well, let's hope 9 does.
I
Nah,
don't.
it's on
think
the way
so.
down.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Is Charlize
It takes a
Theron still in
jump.
it?
It takes a jump from 6.6 to 5.2 on IMDb.
Charlize Theron is in it. I think
that's a
I think
bummer.
anyone who gets introduced is going to just continue to be in
Is
it.
Brie Larson in this one as well? Because I know she is in it at some point.
I think she's only in X so
Okay.
far, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Ty, we're going to you next week.
We are going to a very old comedy classic, City Slickers.
Oh yeah, and it's our first ever ep released in December.
I know nothing
Oh.
about it.
That's interesting.
We've never had a December release before.
Well, thanks to our beautiful new little tater tots that have graced the RP family, we have extended into December. I'm excited for our first one ever to be a comedy classic.
City Slickers.
Why did you whisper it like that?
Dude, I think this episode's just gonna be effed up.
I can't remember what it was about.
Well, you were doing a Harrison Ford impression about what?
I wanted to do an old man Harrison Ford impression
To
I don't
end, to
to
end
end
this
it.
episode?
No, to end the previous
Oh, God.
Patreon post show.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what it was about, but I remember thinking it in the episode and thinking this would be very funny, but I should wait because it would derail us. And now I don't remember what it was.
Well, Patreon, thank you guys so much once again for tuning in with us. It's getting a little late where we're at, so we're probably going to dip out pretty soon, but you guys are the best.
Bye, everyone.
I know we talked about changing our ending, but don't do that. again.
I loved that. Just keep doing that.
Yeah, that's great. Send it.
Patrons, let us know which send off you prefer. The bye or bye, everyone.